This is a Fox News alert. Secretary of State John Kerry was in Kiev earlier today declaring that Russia was not acting in accordance with G8 behavior. Really? Joining me now with reaction, Fox News strategic analyst Ralph Peters is with us. Colonel Peters, and also former Clinton special counsel Lanny Davis, Fox News national security analyst KT McFarland is here. Guys, good to see you all. Interesting comments, Lanny. You find yourself probably a bigger supporter of Hillary than Obama, and Hillary made some comments tonight describing a comparison between Russia's decision to issue passports in the Crimean region to the population transfers carried out by Nazi Germany before World War II. You think that's a fair, accurate analogy? And if so, what do you think of the president's response if it is?
Well, first of all, I support President Obama and former Secretary of State Clinton.
But she seems to be taking a much harder line than he is. That's obvious.
I don't agree. I think she's stating a historical fact that trying to transfer ethnically similar people from one sovereign country to another with the destabilizing,
she's comparing it to Nazi Germany. Wait a minute, Lanny. She's comparing what they're doing to the population transfers in the lead-up carried out by Nazi Germany prior to World War II. That is a far stronger statement than anything Barack Obama has said, and that is not even in dispute.
Let me continue. I think it's a fair comparison. I also think that Barack Obama is standing strong and challenged Putin, who I think is a thug, directly.
Why doesn't he call him a thug?
And his Secretary of State is in Kiev tonight.
Why don't they call him a thug? Why you're calling him a thug? Well, Hillary's comparing it to Nazi Germany.
I'm allowed to
the president's not.
I'm allowed to use non-diplomatic language, but Barack Obama sending his Secretary of State to Kiev is not exactly showing weakness. And for Secretary Rumsfeld, who got us into the tragedy
listen, I don't want to hear about Secretary Rumsfeld.
I'm
asking you about Hillary's comments.
Telling you that Barack Obama, John Kerry, and Hillary Clinton, yes, she is historically accurate.
Colonel Peters
said that to you.
But I disagree with the assessment of Obama. I'll call him a thug, and I think he's sticking his middle finger in Obama's face from Edward Snowden, even though Obama has given every concession to this man, and I think he's looking to embarrassing him and is successfully doing so on the world stage. Your reaction?
Well, it's clear to me that Putin not only has the upper hand from A to Z, but he's enjoying himself. He enjoys thumping on Obama. Putin is the big bad Russian wolf, and Obama's a bunny rabbit. And let's face the facts here. Putin, without firing a shot until the warning shots today, managed to seize Crimea. He is never going to give it back. There is nothing we are willing to do that will make him give it back. The key question now is how much more of Ukraine will he take and when? And what will we do about that? Virtually nothing. All this nonsense about, sanctions and all that stuff, it's not going to happen in a meaningful way because the Europeans won't stick with it. The Europeans prefer the money to freedom. But one other thing, I'd like to make one point, Sean, please. Yeah. There is one thing we could do that would get Putin's attention, and the White House won't do it, and that is to renounce the terrifically one-sided START treaty that Obama cut with Putin, where we gave away serious weapons we needed, and Putin gave away rusty junk. That would get his attention, but of course, Obama won't do it because that's his legacy. And may I add that for the first time in my life, I found myself agreeing with everything that Donald Rumsfeld said.
Yeah, I agree with it too. I think the second thing you'd do is also, instead of the unilateral concessions that they gave to Russia, denying a defense system, missile defense system to Poland and the Czech Republic, I'd go back there. But KT McFarland, I turn to you. You had an excellent column. Europe is impotent because there are 18 pipelines running through the Ukraine right into their lifeline, the lifeline of their economy. They're impotent. They cannot join with us. That's an impossibility at this point. But you say there are strategic things short of war that we can do that would send a loud and clear message and change the geopolitical makeup of what's happening now.
Yeah, there are two things to do, two major things to do. One, get them nervous around their borders. Build the missile defense shield in Poland and the Czech Republic. Make friends with the southern countries, the former Soviet Union countries. Make good friends with them. The other thing, though, is energy independence. You have been on this from the very beginning, especially as an economic boom to the United States. There's a geopolitical, geostrategic issue as well. If the United States can push down the price of oil by manufacturing our own, using our own energy resources, if the price of oil goes below $90 a barrel,
They're losing
Putin's
money.
on his knees.
Yeah.
They cannot afford to continue their defense buildup, their strategic, the goodies they're handing around the world, and particularly the subsidies for their own.
Let me throw this to Lanny. I would argue that KT is 1,000% right. If we sign on to the Keystone Pipeline tomorrow, and if we took advantage, we have more oil, more natural gas, we have more fracking opportunities and coal, then more energy than the entire Middle East. Just saying we're opening it up would literally change the equation tomorrow.
Overnight.
Why won't this president, why is he so beholden to environmental extremists? And why won't he do it?
Well, I support the Keystone Pipeline. I don't understand the logic to oppose it. And I do agree that we should be concentrating on American energy to undermine the Russian power that they use over Europe. But I also don't think we should let Europe off the hook. And I don't know why the United States is always asked to be the only one to stand up to anything that happens in the world.
Europe is held hostage.
And I'll tell you this about the American people tonight.
They have no choice, Lanny.
Let me just finish. When the American people hear the muscle flexing and the macho language about why do we not stop him? We're using economic sanctions effectively in Iran under this president and Secretary of State Clinton. And we will continue to use, as I've heard Barack Obama.
You're living in a fantasy land.
Where is the militaristic talk? Do you think the American people want a military confrontation with Russia?
McFarlane just gave you a list of things you can do that are non-military.
This muscle flexing by Donald Rumsfeld and your prior guest is really not supported by the American people.
Nobody's
Tough
talking about
diplomacy
military
and smart
action, Lanny, except you. You're the only one who interpreted that.
Well, I've had a lot of muscle flexing about third fingers, and it's all macho talk, and it's not real. As we did in Iran, we used economic sanctions effectively in Iran, and you can see it's beginning to produce results.
They just got $7 billion back, Colonel Peters.
Well, nobody says that the Iranian sanctions haven't been effective so far, Sean. I hope you're not saying that.
They were effective until we stopped them, Colonel.
All right, up until now.
Look, the bottom line on this is Russia has a real leader. May not like him, and I don't, but he is brilliant and ruthless. He has clear goals, and he moves straight toward those goals. The West lacks a leader. Like it or not, the President of the United States is the de facto leader of the West, and our president just is he's incapable and unwilling to lead. The weakness is phenomenal. Now, you know, we are not as weaker than we were in the Carter years. I was in that military. It was pathetic. Our military today is the best in the world, best in our history, although Obama wants to dismantle it. We're also immensely wealthier than the Carter years. The problem is that as a president, Obama is far weaker than Carter, and he's probably the worst president we've ever had. He is a man who is incapable of making a hard decision. And by the way, one other key point. Vladimir Putin believes in Russia. He believes in Russia's destiny, its mission. Obama does not believe in American exceptionalism. He does not believe in this country.
Hang on. That is a powerful commentary. KT gets the last word.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. Putin has had a 15-year plan. He's followed it religiously, and it's been extremely successful. He has used his natural gas to keep Europe hostage. He has used the revenues from his oil to give him the windfall profits to carry out his other thing. I think he honestly figured he'd get lucky enough to have a weak president like Obama, but he's taken full advantage of it. What can America do? Reverse all of that by our own energy independence.
I think your plan is dead on. I think what Colonel Peters is saying is dead on, and I think we can reverse. We can change the. We're out of time. Thank you, Lanny. Appreciate it. And coming up, a report. Ed Henry. He is following the White House.